I know y'all don't like Sasha Stone for certain reasons, but I look past it, and what I want is for y'all to listen to the message. Never mind who it's coming from, although I don't think he's that bad. Y'all don't know too much about him, only what the internet gives you, and the internet AI can lie a lot. I mean, they lie about a lot of people. But it's the message that I want you to hear. So if you can look past on who it is and just concentrate on the message, that's what I would like for you to listen to. So if you don't mind, listen to the clip.
But there's two factors at work here. One is a satanic agenda of geoengineering and imposing synthetic molecules through geoengineering into the entire planetary field. So that's synthetic molecules raining down from jet grade fuel, exhaust emissions on millions of aircraft constantly streaming across the sky. The gump fuel and petrochemical derivatives that fire up our ocean liners and cargo ships, and of which, again, there are millions of boats out there, and they're pumping those same synthetic molecules, the detritus, into the oceans. And of course, the glyphosates and the infusion of synthetic molecules through the plastics industry, through our food, because food is plastic in that sense. All the synthetic preservatives and what have you are extensions of plastification. And so that derangement syndrome that is rolling around the earth at every air, water, soil, and of course impregnating all biological systems, that's the kingdom of the devil. And that's what we're seeking to extricate ourselves from in these new jurisdictions. But as far as weather modification is concerned, that is a satanic or a Saturnian agenda, which we all variously know about here, so I don't need to labor the point. But the other factor, which is far more important to recognize, and that's a 100-year trajectory from the Rockefeller covenant, and that was the oil and gas, petrochemical, agrochemical scenario, which was connected into, as I said, to the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act, outlawing marijuana and the hemp industries, which would have destroyed the plastics industries overnight, and all the derivatives. So that just under 100 years is really the arc we're talking about. And that's the Khazarian mafia, petrodollar, oil and gas, war economy, blood economy that we're looking at. But the other side of the equation, which in a sense is far more important and far more relevant for us, is to consider the morphogenetic upshift that is a biological, physiological, geological, astrological, astrophysical phenomenon. So that's happening at the galactic level. It's happening at the level of our solar system, and the entire planetary field of expression is undergoing that morphogenetic upshift, with or without devils tap dancing on the checkerboard, with or without bad actors playing politics and playing into blood economy, with or without ritual Satanists in the basement gargling adrenochrome. None of that matters. The morphogenetic upshift is connected to the geometry of God, the geometry of revelation, and that is connected to the geometry of light that is infusing our solar system and our galaxy right now. At the point at which we are, and I've spoken to this many, many times, is that emergence from the galactic sleep cycle through the ecliptic up into the age of Aquarius, and we peaked in now to the age of the Aquarius, and that takes us into a semi-arc which is known as the galactic day. But that galactic day cycle is also now negated in as much as it's moving into a quantum, which is beyond night and day. It's beyond polarity and any kind of binary idea of physics or astrology or astronomy. We're now moving into a quantum. It's a spiral. So we move from Fibonacci golden mean ratios into the crystal spiral dynamic ratios. That's scalar. That's torsion. That's fractal. So understand what torsion mechanics are, what fractality is, and we get close to understanding the extraordinary upshift that's about to occur. That does not depend on what comes out of Davos World Economic Forum. That does not depend on what comes out of the gibbering bullshit coming out of the College of Cardinals in Rome or of the Privy Council with the Crown of England. So none of those old mechanical portals of power have a say in morphogenesis or regenesis. That's to do with God's geometry, and you and I, good humans like us, who are variously leaning in to this emergence with consciousness in action, putting all of our currency into this beautiful pioneering dream, collective dreaming, to the best of our ability. We carry God's grace, and we'll be the ones determining, our imaginations will be determining the outcome, not the Vatican cloisters again, or the United Nations Security Council, and so on and so forth. So the challenge for all of us is to really begin to understand that the more that we participate in and play into the bad geometry of bad spells and bonds and syntax and lies and deceptions and manipulations of the old order, we are simply allowing the pain to continue. We're allowing that tooth to be pulled out very, very, very slowly. And as anyone who has any wisdom in this world knows, pulling a tooth out very, very slowly is about as stupid a move as you can make. You want it to be a real quick yank. So that to me describes pretty much where we're at. But the geoengineering piece is totemistic of the old order. It has no real ramification or repercussion beyond now. So I'm looking out there and I'm seeing the most blissful and beautiful climate. Okay, granted, I'm in Bacala Laguna on the Mayan Riviera in Mexico. But what is visiting America right now? What is the storm, the great storm, the epochal historical storm event that's moving in? Is it geoengineering? Almost certainly. It's a confluence of geoengineering, which only incidentally gains traction when the frequency field of the human population are commensurate with that frequency. So the devil cannot dance in your ballroom unless he's got a ticket, and you're the one who grants the ticket. The way we dream, the way we put our attention into false narratives and buy into time is money, scarcity, fear, all of that stuff, the more we put ourselves there as the arbiter of reality, we are the ones welcoming the storm of chaos. And so what you're seeing in America is simply a typical cyclical storm of chaos. But the Balinese priesthoods would look to that event, impending event, as being a profoundly magical and a cleansing event, as indeed it is. To anyone who's anchored in pure truth and right action, you'll foundationally, storms will steer themselves around you and around your home. You know, that's what bioresonance means. That's what bioarchitecture means. But I'll leave it at that, just to say, when we raise the question of geoengineering, is it something being done from the Babylonian basement? Of course it is. But it only has traction because we are granting permission and receiving that frequency set. So that's what we should be looking at when we ask a question like that. Why are we situating ourselves still in toxic city grids? Why are we participating in the Babylonian helter-skelter? Why are we continuing to fill the forms out with block black capital letters? Why are we continuing to take the knee and render coin to Caesar? I know it's annoying when I keep saying things like this. It sounds almost patronizing, but that is the answer to the question. Geoengineering is not the issue, never was.
So you heard what he said. Basically, everything that we're going through and what we will be going through. And it is a culling, a cleansing going on, separating of the souls, which one category is the NPCs, the Cabbage Patch, the cyborgs, all of that, and that is one. Number two are the souls that chose to be asleep. They wanted to stay asleep. They're not going to wake up in this lifetime. Then you have others like us. We're awake. We're conscious aware. We know what's going on. We reprogrammed. We got out of our ego mind. We're not operating on the reptilian stem. We're not operating just on the root chakra. We are doing our job into helping everybody, teaching, guiding, everything to, do their inner work so we can move on. And then he spoke about the Aquarius. Yes, Aquarius is the beginning cycle, and we are leaping into the new organic, old, ancient Mother Earth template, where we go back the way it was before all of this was installed. Now, let me explain something here. Depending on what frequency, vibration, and energy you are on at the time of the shift, because just know that you don't have to physically die in order to move. We've been moving from dimension to dimension, timeline to timeline, reality to reality, without physically passing away. So just know death is an illusion. We've been hopping, and it all depends on your frequency, your vibration, and your energy. And that's where it's going to happen. When that shift comes, and you'll know, just look at the sky. Keep an eye on the sky and you'll know. When that shift comes, depending on the level you're on, is where you're going to go. That is where you're going to go. Now, you want to stay hooked onto the system and everything. You want to belong to them. You want to follow their rules. You want to follow the rules of the apps and everything like that. Well, I'm sorry, you're going to stay with them. You're going to stay with them until you do what you need to be doing. There's nothing people like me can do for you. We've been there, we've tried, we've bent over backwards for you, we've been giving you advice, we've been pointing out the things you're doing wrong that you should be clearing out. Clear out the skeletons in your closet, clear out your following list and the followers that follow you. Clean it out, your apps and everything, clean it so you won't leave no back door open or a ticket where dark forces can come and use what you left behind against you. Y'all don't want to listen. You have no idea how this system is connected to you in every way possible. You have no idea. They can sneak through any crack that you leave open for them. Understand that. Overstand that. Clean yourself out. Detach. Move back. Reprogram yourself. Stop operating from the ego, the mind. Start operating from the heart, your soul. Listen to what your soul tells you. I've always said that to people because people keep asking me how. What do I do? How do I know what to do? Put your hand over your heart. And in just a few straight, simple words, ask it. Ask it what you need to do. Ask it what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to avoid, what you're supposed to let go. And it's not going to answer you just straight up like that. You have to pay attention to the messages that come to you in different ways. It can come just uploading. You can be in the shower with water because water is memory. And it gives you downloads. You can be out there going doing errands or something like that, billboards, people can say certain things that will get you. Messages come through several ways. You just got to be open to be it and be paying attention to it. Be open to receive it. Because they don't just come and directly tell you. They can't do that. They can't interfere in your journey. Just like some of us, we've known you, some of you in our past lives. We know what you are. We know what you can do. Some of us can't tell you a lot, but some of us can give you hints. You have to figure that out yourself. It's the same thing with benevolence, because this, how do I put it? There are benevolent beings that are trying to help you not to choose the system. And there are agents for the system that are trying to convince you to be with the system, to give up everything else and be with the system. You get what I'm saying? There are agents on both sides. Listen to your intuition, to your heart, to your gut. It is never wrong. Never wrong. Don't listen to what you see on the screen. Don't listen to what, OG tells me this or people telling me that. Stop being in that fucking reality, man. Stop having the fear, the hate, and all of this and that. Let that shit go. Learn to observe in a neutral state of mind. Don't feed it. You're feeding the system when you sit there and believe the shit what you're looking at. Stop. Get right. This shift is already happening. It's already in the beginning stages. Do y'all not feel it? Do y'all not see it? In the skies and the oceans? The dragons, the serpents? What they're trying to do, but they're trying to suppress them? To make them cause a lot of problem? Come on, people. You've got to be seeing that. Get away from all of that. Get away from being negative. Get away from being stuck in that one reality. All because you're like, well, reality, I see this and I see that, and I get visions. You know, some of y'all have visions that have been implanted in you, and it's to stop you from accomplishing things, for taking a trip or doing this or doing that. It's implanted in you, especially, like I said, if you're following the system rules, if you're following the rules of social media apps, especially TikTok, if you're following their goddamn rules, I feel sorry for you. I really do. TikTok is a fucking portal, man. That is the fake white light, the fake tunnel of light. That is meta. That is a digital virtual reality that you want to live in. And I feel sorry for you people that stay stuck there. There's so many people that leaving TikTok because they're not gonna give up their soul for that shit. But I know some of you will. You're that addicted. Yes, you will. I know it. You know what? If you're connected to me and you stay there because of all of that, and you're willing to sell your soul, you know what? Get the fuck out of my life. I'm telling you. Go. Go with the system. As for me, I'm going with Mother Earth. That is where I belong. I don't belong here. Open your eye.